Sir Andrew Mitchell.
Thank you very much, Sir Roger, for this opportunity to contribute in this debate. I'd like to say what a pleasure it is to follow the honourable gentleman. Every word of his speech I agree with, and also to congratulate the mover of this debate from North Norfolk on what he had to say. There's a feeling of all-party agreement on this, which is not perhaps surprising because, Sir Roger, we are coming to the point where we will soon be celebrating the 10th anniversary of the decision being made by Parliament that unless open registers of beneficial ownership are accepted and implemented by the overseas territories, then the British government, as is its right, will enforce them on the overseas territories. It's taken nearly 10 years. It was in 2018, I think, that I and others led a rebellion against our own government to get this in, and the government conceded, and it was the right thing to do, and it is all taking far, far too long. The reason why we haven't made progress is partly a mixture of inertia, crowded agendas and vested interests, but it now needs to be confronted by the government at this summit with all possible vigour. I would also like to say that the honourable gentleman who will respond for the government was kind enough to call me to explain why the summit has been delayed, and I completely accept his argument. But we must use that delayed period to make sure it is all the more effective. Now, the figure of nearly £800 billion was mentioned by the honourable gentleman, and it shows that in Britain, when it comes to dirty money, we have a real dog in the fight. And remember, Sir Roger, what this money is. It's money from cybercrime, the drugs trade, the sex trade. It's money stolen from Africa and Africans. And we say to the overseas territories and to the Crown dependencies, because they are in exactly the same boat, we say to them that if you want to have the British flag, our laws and our sovereign, then you must also accept our values. The list of offenders that has been so kindly produced by the Anti-Corruption and Responsible Tax APG Beneficial Ownership Tracker is very, very clear. Montserrat, St Helena and in particular Gibraltar are to be congratulated on what they have done. The Cayman Islands have made some progress, but they're certainly not there yet. Bermuda, Anguilla and the Turks and Caicos are marked poor, and there at the bottom, critically poor, the chief but not only offender, the British Virgin Islands. And these issues must be dealt with. On Guernsey and Jersey, and to a lesser extent the Isle of Man, we need to see specific time-bound commitments by the time of the British G20 so that we can hold up our heads. The scale that is going through London and the overseas territories and the Crown dependencies of dirty money is absolutely appalling, and we need to clean up our act. The final point I'd like to make, Sir Roger, if I may, is to endorse the asks from the APPG. The ending of anonymous ownership of UK property, which has already been raised, is extremely important. The recovery and return of stolen assets, particularly those from Africa, which I have mentioned to the House many times in the past. And we do need to bear down more on professional enablers, but we do need to ensure that such bureaucratic change that we might then introduce does not harm honest practitioners. So I think there's work to be done on that, but in principle, where we can stop professional enablers from behaving badly in this area, we should do everything we can to do so.